Hello, eRank. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another live with me, Pam Duffy, her, Starla, and him, him, Anthony Wolf.
Hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Almost Friday. Few more
Yay.
hours and we're good.
So hopefully we've got an exciting show for you. Feels funny calling it a show, but hopefully we've got an exciting show because Anthony here can explain some of the changes that are going to be happening on eRank. I think he's got some cool tools to potentially demo, and yeah, so this is the time to get in your questions, suggestions, everything. Yeah, this is the one that means Starla like, because we just have to sit here.
Yeah,
we can
nice.
Pass everything off to Anthony.
Well, sometimes I make it easy for you, right?
Oh, that's nice though. Here's the question though: does that eRank song get stuck in your guys' head too? Because it's getting pretty bad late at night. I've got a brain radio that kicks in around 10 p.m. and when I'm trying to sleep, there's just always a song stuck in my head. And lately, that has been what's stuck in my head. It's usually like the Wheel of Fortune theme song, or
I thought it would have been the Final Countdown. It's the
yeah. Oh man, don't
sorry everyone who's tuned in who has now got that baked in their head.
It'll usually be a song that I haven't heard in like 15 years that I've completely forgotten existed, and then just suddenly I'll recall it in perfect clarity. I'm sure that there's probably like some scientific name for this phenomenon, but yeah, the ADHD music radio. I think that I have heard that it is a neurodivergent trait that the brain radio will kick on. So
perfect.
Fun. Anyway, guys, happy Thursday.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So I got a lot to share today, but I will need to take a breath every now and then because if I start going blue in the face and do this, I need to pause and you need to ask questions so I can breathe. So where shall I begin? So I've got some bad news. So I might start with that first and then hopefully you'll forgive me by the end. So, so the bad news is that as of the middle of next month, we won't be accepting any more new basic subscribers to our basic plan. So for those of you who have it already, don't worry, it's all good. We're going to, what's the term, grandfather you, so you can keep using it for as long as you need it. We're not going to take it away from you, but we're not going to be accepting any more new subscribers there. And for those of you who don't know about it, that's a plan that we started, I think it was in May or June 2020, when we were in the middle of COVID panic and there were a lot of people who suddenly were without a job and were turning to whatever they could to make a few bucks. And we tried to create something that was, of good value for folks that were just in extreme stress at the time. So we kept it around all these years because it was very popular. And unfortunately, we kind of got a bit squeezed in the last month. I won't go into too much detail, but Etsy are now going to start charging us to use their API. And,
boo, hiss, boo.
I don't want to throw them under the bus because, we've got a lot from them for free for many, many years, and we've been able to help folks. And I was like, what do we do here? Do we get rid of the free plan? I thought, no, we can't do that. That's, we have to do that. Do we raise prices? And my wife will tell you this, much to her annoyance, I've refused to raise prices for 5+ years. And then I looked and went, oh, well, this basic plan really was only meant to be temporary. So that's the sad news, folks. So if you've been sitting on the fence thinking maybe you should try the paid plan, by all means do so. You've got about 30 days, but after that, sadly, it'll be the pro and expert plans. We'll still have the pro annual there. That's a little bit cheaper than the sort of like in between, but bit of an upfront cost there.
Now, what if they cancel their existing basic plans?
We'll look at that on a case-by-case basis. There may be some situations where, like, if you're under extreme hardship and stuff like that, we might be able to help you guys out. And we'll try and keep the basic annual plan going for as long as we can as well. So that might be an option for folks too.
Yeah, and I saw that we will have a nice big warning that way when you go, if you forget about today's live stream, or for those who don't get to see it, if they go to cancel their basic plan, they will be warned that, you know, that if they cancel, they won't be able to resume that. So as long as you keep it, you're good. And as long as you subscribe to it before we cut it, you're good.
Yeah. So Layla's asking, will the names change of the plans?
I don't think so. No. Unless you're tired of the names. No, I don't see any need to change the name of the plans. And the prices will remain the same.
Yeah. And
all right.
Kay's asking, are you going to put a note on the homepage about
I think we'll do something for the folks that are on the basic plan so they know. I don't want them to be sort of caught and then they cancel and then they can't get back in afterwards. So we'll figure something out there for folks too. All right. Okay, I've got more bad news. So, no, I'm kidding. That's enough for 1 week.
Oh,
right?
you had me worried there.
I know, my heart is sank. I'm like, wait, I thought that was it.
Yeah, no, that's it. So we've got a bunch of things, and I know I think Pam, Brian, and maybe Starly, you've talked about these as well. So I wanted to just remind people of a couple of tools that we have out there. And I'm just going to wrestle with the technology just for a second because I realized I'm not sharing my screen yet. So let's see if I can do this right, Pam.
Technology is great. You guys don't want to know the trouble we had before even starting.
Oh, yeah, it was all on my end too. There we are.
It's always the tech guy who has the most tech problems because he has the most tech to go wrong.
And it's like the mechanic has the shittiest car. You know, it's like.
Right, good to share? Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so the first one I wanted to let people know about, if you haven't seen it already, it's the Video Creator. So this is a tool that we're making available to everyone, so free through to all the paid plans. Basically, this is in beta. So the first version that we've got out there, you upload images and basically create a video. So you can put it into Instagram, into Etsy and other places there. So maybe we can link to the video on the video generator at the end here so people can have a look at that. I'm not going to demonstrate it, but it's there for folks. We've got some really interesting and good feedback so far. Like, can you just select a listing and then create a video from the images that are in that listing? So we're going to do that. And right now it's sort of buried in its own little area in the listing optimization tab right down the bottom here, but we're going to integrate that into the listing audits as well. So you can create videos with just a click or two within there as well. So that's the first one I wanted to share. Any questions?
And please give us your feedback on this. As Anthony said, it's very much in beta. We've just created it and we'd love to know what people want.
Yeah. So then the next one is the keyword tool. And I think we mentioned this recently as well. I wanted to just reiterate to folks that we have now got a couple of little notes in here when we see certain things about a keyword that you looked for in the keyword tool. So the trending in search, that's not new. That's been around for quite a while. But the conversion, high conversion is new. I wanted to let you know that when we see people search and then buy a product after searching for that keyword, if we see enough of those, we'll put a little flag there saying high conversion. So we know, or you guys know, that that word is leading to sales, not some gibberish term or something that just doesn't perform well. These are the standout ones. And we've already got some great feedback there, which we're looking into implementing. So Stella or Pam, do you want to give us a quick summary of what you've heard?
On the feedback side?
Yeah.
I made a whole video about this a couple, 2 weeks ago, and everyone loves it so far. Here's the thing. It has helped a lot this year in particular, and I brought this up earlier with our team, the shopping patterns this year have shifted. So if you were to do a search right now for Christmas, or even Halloween searches, even with our search trend graph, have gone up dramatically in 2025 from this time last year. And that keyword is actively converting right now, which, okay, that seems pretty, it's not that outlandish, right? However, if you start searching for Christmas and Christmas cards, those terms are also converting right now. So this tool, for the first time ever, is giving us a clue into what is actually selling. Is it Christmas card or Christmas cards? There was a term that was, or maybe it was just high-end search, but I know Christmas is converting.
Yeah. I think the big learning moment for me was that it's not just long-tail keywords that convert. Some of those broad head queries also convert. They're good.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much more competition in there. So, it's really been eye-opening for me as I go through and discover these highly converting keywords.
Yeah, it's super fun to see them. I think some feedback we have been getting, which I love, is if we can see this high converting in other places, like in the related keyword sections,
keyword lists.
It would be lovely in our keyword lists, keywords that we've saved. I think people are saying they'd love to be able to see if any of them are popping off and converting well. So,
yeah. So we were actually discussing that earlier today, and it's on the roadmap. So that's going to come. So again, thank you to everyone that's been using it and giving us feedback. We're really trying to get good things launched sooner. Maybe not in everywhere where you would like it, but at least to get it out there quicker to you guys, and then you can say, "Hey guys, can you also add it here?" And that's what we're doing. So that's what I wanted to share.
We have got a horrible habit of starting something, and then mainly myself and Starla and Brian will hold it up, going, "Can we add that? And can we add that? And can we add that?"
Yeah. So
I did have a lot of people who had said that they wanted a big list, like each week or each month, of all the high converting keywords. And I've told everyone who's asked, that's a terrible idea, because if there was just one big list of, high converting keywords, how quickly would those keywords become super duper saturated? The fact that you have to search for them, I feel like, is beneficial. I personally wouldn't want there to be a big list, because those keywords aren't going to be useful.
I don't know. I mean, like, look at Christmas, for example. High converting.
That's true.
And look at the competition. It's like 10 million, probably more if you include ads and so forth. So I'm going to look at it. What I think would be bad is if people start going, I'm going to call my apple an orange now because oranges are, highly converting. You've still got to pick and choose.
That's exactly what Brian's just said. People would use irrelevant terms because they're hot. And that goes for everything. That goes for like our trending keywords and everything. If it's not relevant for your item, no matter how cool it looks, don't use it, because if people are searching for Christmas, they want something related to Christmas.
What if we put a warning there? Because, I mean, Etsy isn't going to give you those good brownie points if people are scrolling past those listings. So if we were to do that and we put a little warning at the top that says, make sure that, the terms you use are relevant to your listings, it might.
Yeah. I'll think about it. The reason why I'll think about it is we're trying to simplify the designs, and I know in the past we've had warnings and pop-ups and tooltips and so forth. So we've got to try and keep that balance, because when there's too much trying to draw your attention on the screen, it gets kind of confusing and frustrating. But hopefully people get it that you got to put the right words in there. It's got to describe your listing accurately.
Overall, this is the best thing we've added in a long time, though.
I really like it. It's nice to finally get a sense of what people are buying and the keywords they use to buy it. We had to use one of our third-party data providers for this, so it's not every single keyword in the Etsy universe, but there's a good chunk in there. And I'll have a look at that list. I know you're not too keen on it, Starla, but I'll see what's there, and we can decide. Maybe we'll add it to Trend Buzz or something like that, so people can see what those are. And I'm sure Jam would like to include these in some of her blog posts too. So
this would make it so much easier. Brian's asked, and I think this is following on from what you're saying about in the Trend Buzz, really. How about a field picker so we can cater what we want our results to show? So categories, or I want to know what's high converting in my category.
We can do that. I think. How about I switch to the next tool I'm about to show you? And
hey, Pam, have you ever noticed when Anthony's thinking, he looks up and then back and forth, really like a little metronome?
Yeah, there's a little voice in the back of my head going, "Careful, Anthony, you may be revealing too much today."
We see the gears like spinning.
Yeah,
I thought it was the eagle eyes action man. Someone's work programming him, like rubbing in the back of his head.
Okay, so I'm going to share this one with you. So this is our new category tool. It's not quite launched yet. I think it will either be tomorrow or Monday. But basically, first page is kind of a bit dull and boring, but what we wanted to do was to give you more insight into what's going on in each category in Etsy. So I'm going to pick on jewelry just because I'm a little bit more familiar with this one. So what we've been doing is looking at a whole bunch of things here. So, for example, what's selling in the jewelry category. And one of our data providers has some great information about the demographics of those buyers. So we can start to see the age breakdown of people who are purchasing in the jewelry category. We can tell you whether they're male or female. And not a big surprise here. It's nearly 80-20 male and female there. So that's, to me, it's really interesting. We can also see within jewelry what are the most popular subcategories in there. So you can see necklaces, not a big surprise if you're in the jewelry category. Rings and bracelets and earrings are also up there. Cremation and memorial jewelry, okay, not as popular. So you can get a sense of where people are going and where they're purchasing. So I should point out this is really based on what people are buying. Does that make sense? I'll keep going.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. We're getting a few people already liking the look of this one.
So then if you're a bit competitive and you want to know who's getting all that traffic, what we've done is we've looked at those folks that are getting the most clicks. So Caitlin Minimalist, as you can imagine, that shop just absolutely rocks it. So they are really getting a lot of clicks within that category. So it's kind of neat to know. And if you're looking at trying to, elevate your shop, I'd recommend you start going through some of these stores to figure out if there's some good ideas for your store. Sometimes, they've been around for years and they've figured out a few tricks, and you can go in there and get a sense of what's going on there. Then what we did is we looked at all those listings in the jewelry category and said, right, what keywords brought them there? So what we've done is we've put together a top 10 of those keywords that people searched for and then clicked on a jewelry item. So you can see gift, that kind of makes sense to me. Earrings, jewelry, rings, gift for her, gift for him. So that's it. These are the words that are bringing you into that category. And then once they're in there, which ones of those words are generating the most clicks? Because you've got people coming in, but then you've got them going over to the listings. So you get an idea of those there as well. So I don't recommend you fixate too much on the numbers. We've just got these guys in here for convenience. So, overall, there's like 100,000 searches for gift on any given month. And we give you an idea of the distribution of the clicks from those keywords here. But have a look at these keywords and go, right, are any of these relevant to me? Is jewelry box something I can make? Is my item giftable? Should I be adding gift for him, gift for her in there? You probably should. So that's what we've got there. Then, let's take a little breath. The last thing we've got is we've looked at where those buyers are, and this is sadly US only. So unfortunately, folks in Europe and other parts of the world, we don't have data for those regions, but we have it for the US, which is probably a good chunk of folks that are watching. And here we let you know what state they live in. So you can see Texas is a big consumer of jewelry, California as well. So a lot of the major population centers in the US. And you can get an idea of the sales in there and the average order value. I don't read too much into the average order value because there are some outliers, like I think it was Mississippi. There's a very low percentage of sales that go there, but the folks that did purchase there spent a lot. So there could be some outliers skewing the numbers there. But if you're looking at where your buyers are, what keywords they're using to find your products in those categories, what they're clicking on, even the gender and the age breakdown, you've got a lot of information there. The last thing I'll add is we also have subcategories as well. So you can go into the subcategory level and get similar sort of information. So the age breakdown, gender, those words that are being searched and clicked on, who the shops are that are really killing it there, and a breakdown of where those buyers are located. So you'll notice it did change very slightly when I switched from general jewelry and into bracelets. So that's that. Any questions or comments popping up?
Yeah, you're getting a lot of love here. A couple of people have asked, so better to repeat this. How do we get there?
Okay, it will be there tomorrow or on Monday. So I just wanted to let you all know it's coming. So if yeah, we'll be announcing it, so you won't miss out. But you saw it here first today.
Yeah, but it seems people are loving it, which is no surprise. How many of keywords can you see that have been searched? So the most searched keywords in bracelets.
Top 10s.
And then a bit of love.
Did you see the most recent one there, Pam?
Who?
Is there a possibility to change a bit? Average searches algorithm. Sometimes a few months have no to any data. After that, there are a few thousand, and an average is shown not correct number of searches. I'm assuming that you mean in the keyword tool.
That's what it sounds like to me, yeah. So the way we calculate the average searches is we look at the 12 months and take the average from there. So that's how it works right now. In regards to what they're observing, we are adding a new data source to help us improve our keyword data coverage. So some of those strange, inexplicable drops will start to disappear. I expect that to be ready by the end of summer. So more on that when it gets ready to launch.
How about
Brian,
what? Oh, you got that one. Okay.
Yeah, Brian's asking, what does the most clicked mean?
So if you were to look at all the keywords that were bringing people into the bracelet subcategory, and then the keywords that generate clicks from those listings, that's those keywords.
Yeah, well, we've got a very important question here. What's an Anthony Wolf? That that's Anthony down there. He's the creator of eRank, the CEO, or the brains behind everything. So get your questions in.
Sorry, should introduce myself, huh? All right. So if there are no more questions there.
We've got lots of questions and comments. I love cats, which is what myself and Stella thought as well. Knowing demographics is super helpful for targeting ads. Thank you. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
This is so impressive. We forgot about the bad news from the beginning.
Oh, good.
Good. This is a perfect time to repeat it, Anthony. We have more viewers, so you might. Robin had a question. Let's see. What happens if some of your data is incorrect? Like, you know that you've only sold something a certain amount of times, but it's actually sold more or less than that.
I would need a little more context.
Which tool are you using specifically, Robin? Are you trying to look up yourself in the competitor tools? Because that's what I've been seeing that question a lot, where people are trying to use the competitor tools rather than the listing audit to.
I think that might be what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
But if you see, anytime you see anything and you think it's wrong or you don't understand it, click that E at the bottom right of eRank and let our team know, and they can have a look into it. If there's something we can do, they can check and see if there's something wrong with your data, if there's some kind of bug, or if it's a feature that perhaps we need to be able to explain better.
Yeah, Robin, I actually came to Anthony about this exact same question. Last week, because I had a couple people ask, and I was unsure. So our competitor tools, because we can't see exactly how many sales and how much money other sellers have made, you guys have almost built your own little algorithm to kind of calculate an average of that, right? A close enough number.
Yeah, we look at things like typical conversion rates and prices, things like that. So if you're looking for things like your sales totals and your revenue totals, going into the listing audit is the right place for you. What we do in there is we use the private data that's connected to your shop, and we only use it in there because that's what Etsy tells us to do. And to be honest, I think that's just a nice privacy thing that they have there. So we only share that with you. If you're in the competitor research tools, that there is information derived from publicly available data. So it's less accurate, really, to protect your privacy. So if you're looking for your store in there, you'll get a general sense of the sales. But if you want, like 100% accurate, you need to go into the listing audit.
Yeah, and Robin said I've seen discrepancies in both, but definitely in the listing audit. Are you clicking your refresh data button?
That will help.
Yes, definitely. If you see that, click the refresh data button. But if you still see the discrepancy, click that little green E in the right-hand corner.
And remember as well, some people, quite rightly, because Etsy's confusing, muddle up sales and orders. They are slightly different numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a very good point. Yeah. The sales number is, if you were to look at a page on Etsy, say your own shop, and you have your stats in there, and it's shop name and X sales, that's sales. Orders can actually be fairly much higher than sales.
Let's see.
Jessica's asked, is this new tool available for free members or paid plans only?
It'll be available for both. If memory serves me right, we're going to let the demographic data be free, and we may give you a little bit of a teaser on the keyword and shop side for free, but paid members will get the full access.
Let's see. Nadia is on a monthly pro plan, and she said that she's been struggling to switch over to yearly for a week.
Wow. Okay.
And hasn't been able to do so yet after communicating with the team.
Okay. I will check with the team to see why that might be happening. I would need to dig into that one and find out. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. And I think that we kind of covered this, Debbie, but she said when you look at competitors' listings and see it has an estimated number of sales, but then when you click on the listing, it has a different number. Is the individual listing relatively more accurate? You look at their listing, but then click on that listing.
Good question. There is a small chance it will be slightly more accurate because we have a few extra data points we can pull into the equation at that point. But typically, it should be almost exactly the same. If
you see big discrepancy. Oh, sorry, Anthony.
I was just going to say, if you do come across discrepancies, please let us know, because I always want to get those estimates as accurate as possible.
See,
Yeah.
this is one that I kind of understand because I'm in the same boat. I love your product and understand that Etsy doesn't share with you the whole data like it was years ago. I mean, they've never really shared everything with us.
They're doing pretty good at keeping private stuff private.
Yeah. I teach others to use your tool, but professional sellers don't know how to trust this data. We see that a lot because I think that there are a lot of misconceptions about where SEO companies get their data, and they immediately assume that because it doesn't come from Etsy that it is therefore inaccurate. However, one of the things that, Pam and I have, it's Pam's analogy about how TV ratings are calculated. It's the exact same process. These data sets are massive, which allows us to give statistical significance to our data. And the more data cannot be inaccurate so long that it is real. It can only become more accurate the more that it is quantified. And the great thing about us is we have a lot of data giving us a precision that might not necessarily match up number for number with other competitors. A lot of these little newbie SEO companies that pop up, I dare say, likely just don't have as much data that we do. Therefore, the numbers and the averages are going to look a little bit different. But we've been around for a lot longer than most of these little companies. So we have a little bit more than they do because we've been doing it for longer.
Yeah, there's usually two reasons why we see differences there. The first one is that it has to do with the data provider. So we're bigger and been around longer than most, so we're able to forward data from, I think, the largest data provider that's out there. Others maybe use different data providers, so there's different sources and they have different methods of calculating it. But the one that I notice pops up a lot in Etsy, but also in the Amazon and eBay worlds, is where they take things like the keywords in the search suggestions box on Etsy, Amazon, and eBay, and they try to calculate how many people have been searching based on that, which is a horrible way to do it, especially when folks like eRank, we actually use panelists who are people that have said you're allowed to share or use the data or the keywords that I've searched for. So we're basing it on what real people have actually searched for. Others are basing it on what they see in the search suggestions, which is just a very flawed technique and not grounded in any real reality.
Yeah, I think that's a good time. I'll just grab Susanna's question and how are TV ratings calculated, which is or was, you might have heard of Nielsen families and things, and this is people who agreed to have a thing connected to their radio or television to track what they were watching. So the data, as Anthony was kind of saying there, is kind of similar. There's no thing attached to your computer, but people have opted in saying, would you like us to share that data? People have opted in. So it's massive panels of people who've agreed that their data can be used for this kind of thing.
Agreed is a key word here too, that we don't work with a lot of these really sketchy, strange, like steal your data type people.
Oh yeah. There are some out there, and we've had some folks reach out to us and say, hey, we've got this data and we think you might be interested. And we go through a pretty vigorous evaluation process, and we look at their data collection methodologies, and frankly, some of them are downright scary. There are some folks out there which have built some pretty nasty browser extensions, and they are glorified spyware at the end of the day. So yeah, go and Google that one day and figure out those browser extensions, because it's kind of really creepy out there.
Browser extensions that seem too good to be true. They're making money somehow. I think that we all saw that with a very popular shopping related one a couple months ago that I won't say the name of out loud, but that I very quickly uninstalled after Anthony, you brought it up to me like years before, and you were like, maybe not a good idea, and I still left it on my laptop.
I don't know why you did that, Stella, but
they're the coupons.
Seriously, it's kind of scary because some of these ones basically phone home with a lot of information about your browser. So what URL you're looking at, the content on the page that you're looking at, and immediately banking sites come to mind. It's like, oh my God, are they seeing my bank balance, my password, and things like that? So be really, really careful when you go to install browser extensions. Like Stella said, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Great time to shout out the eRank browser extension.
Yes. Just going to say that was something that Anthony, like in many conversations with Anthony, he was always like triple checking what data eRank was able to see in the extension to make sure we weren't being creepy at all, even by accident. So.
You know, to me, it has to be bare essential stuff only, like enough, and sometimes not enough for our customer support team to help diagnose problems. I don't want to be that sort of company, and I don't think anyone would like to be treated that way where we're snooping. It's just wrong. So there are examples like if you had a browser extension installed and you went to Trello.com, for example, and you saw our browser extension, it'll go gray, which means it's disabled. So we don't know what you're doing there. You go to your bank, it's gray. We don't know what you're doing there, and we don't want to know. It'll turn blue, green. Thank you. I knew that. When you're on a site where it is activated. So Etsy, Amazon, and eBay. And I think there's a few other ones as well. But it's very limited sort of thing. So we're not going to be snooping over your shoulder everywhere you go on the internet. Other ones are, man, they are really freaking scary. Anyway, I want to move on because I actually have, I want to talk about our shortcut button, which is a lot more safe. And before I do that, I want to talk about traffic stats. So have we got through most of the questions?
We've got a couple real quick related to this topic, and then I'll run back up to the other ones. How do you know what browser extensions are okay and not okay? Usually, I mean, you can usually do a Google search for most of these, and someone has done the research for you.
It's hard, and that's I think why they've been so good at siphoning data from what people are doing on the internet. I would generally stick to big companies, US-based companies, or wherever your local jurisdiction is, so that if you need to sue them, they're within the reach of your lawyer's grasp, so to speak. So first of all, I'd do that. I'd also do a bit of background check on the company. So, for example, if you don't know who the founder is or who the owners of that company are, that's a red flag. If it's in a country which has been in the news for bad reasons, I'm not going to single out any country, but you might go, I've heard bad things about people there and so forth. You might want to be a little extra careful about installing that software there. Just doing a general Google search on that company would be also wise.
Yeah, there used to be a saying years ago that I think is still relevant, is if you're not paying for it, you're the product. So if you don't know where their money's coming from, that might be
eRank too. When it was entirely free. There was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah, check their privacy policy. I would definitely do that as well.
All right, two more. I'm on monthly basic. If I upgrade to yearly basic before the change takes place, will I be able to avail the basic features for a year?
Absolutely, yeah. We're not going to take it away from you. If you're already a subscriber, it's yours. It's you can have it for the next 10 years. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be there for you. But if you're a new user and you come in and at the end of August and you go, oh, where's basic? Well, unfortunately, in that situation, that person would have missed out. But for you, you can stay on the monthly one as long as you like, or you can switch over to the annual one and save a few more bucks that way as well.
Debbie's our last. I understand that there are many estimates and that there are many things Etsy isn't giving, but is the quantity available metric accurate / does it come from the API or is it estimated?
Quantity available comes directly from the API. That is one of the few pieces of useful information that is public.
Perfect. All right. I think we're good to move on.
Okay. So, Starla, was it last week? You created a nice little survey for some of your followers.
I did.
And one of the things that really stood out was the number of people who are struggling to understand which keywords bring traffic to their listings and to their shop. And I just wanted to remind people that we have an option. You all have an option. It's a little tricky, but you can install Google Analytics or create a Google Analytics account, get a property ID from Google Analytics, add it to your Etsy shop, and then Google Analytics will do all the magic for you and actually collect a lot of information about how people found your listings. The downside is Google Analytics is really, really hard to use nowadays. And I used to be Google Analytics certified for several years. And since they upgraded to GA4, I can't figure out for the life of me how to use it. But if you have, great, you can probably give me a few lessons. But the beauty is you can connect your Google Analytics account to eRank, and our developers have done all the hard work so that you can actually see those keywords that are bringing traffic to your shop, to your listings. You can see how many times they've come from certain keywords, what the position in search results were, and whether it was an ad or organic. It'll even give you a little bit of information about referrals, like if it was Facebook and Pinterest and stuff like that. So that's what I've got on my screen right now. Am I still sharing?
No.
Yep.
Yep.
There we go. Starla, you frightened me there by putting up a poll. I was like, what's flashing up my screen? What have I done?
Yeah, I put a poll in the chat to see how many of our users, or do you currently use Google Analytics and have you connected it to eRank? So I'll close that maybe in 2 minutes. Go ahead, get your votes in.
So what I've got on my screen here is the Google Analytics data for our lovely eRank shop, where we sell a hat and a mug and a few other things. Sadly, it's not been a very successful store, but that's not the point. The point was to gather data so I can give you demonstrations on what we collect here. So you can see here the top keywords for us over the past 15 months have been eRank, branded ceramic mug, Frank Tyson's shirt. I think Etsy took a bit of a liberty there with Frank and eRank. Not the first time. eRank shop and so forth. And if I look at eRank, I can expand that and I can see which listings were getting traffic there. And you can see a couple of those listings have expired or sold out. I've got an eRank mug, a very tasteful green mug. And we've had 3 visits over the last 15 months. And the average position for that listing was number 4. I don't know why that wasn't number 1, but maybe we had one of our other listings higher up, and that was from organic search. And this, I just wanted to share that with you because this sort of information can be really, really useful for you, especially if you sell something that's seasonal. You can go to the date picker here and you can say, right, I want to go back to maybe this time last year or just before Christmas. And if you're one of the people that listened to me a couple of years ago and installed Google Analytics a few years ago, you can probably go back even further. You'll have oodles of data that you can use and refer to. So I'm just changing the date range there. I'm not sure if I've got much data. As I said, it's kind of a sad little shop. But I can see keywords from different periods in time. And then I can go, right, well, I know eRank mug was really good in November. I better get ready to start pushing that again. So I wanted to share that with you guys. We also have, and I don't think I've got any data for social and other referrals, but I will do my best to bring something up.
We have a question here of where is this tool?
Where is this tool? That is a great question. So it's in Shop Insights, Traffic Stats.
Yeah, we also had a very similar question. I have my GA connected to Etsy. Where's the option to connect it to eRank?
Okay.
Which is,
so if you go into Traffic Stats, you'll get prompted to connect at that point. Or if you're on your eRank dashboard, there is a prompt in there also to connect your Google Analytics there as well.
Yeah, if you've already connected your Google Analytics properly to Etsy, then connecting it to eRank's the easy step. You've done the difficult bits.
Yeah.
The poll, I closed that out. Do you currently use Google Analytics and have you connected it to eRank? Yes, and I'm connected to eRank was 53%. So most of you, no, I don't use Google Analytics came in next at 34%. Oh, you guys need to connect your Google Analytics.
Yeah.
And yes, but I'm not connected to eRank, only 12%.
Okay. So my advice would be, if you need to know more about those keywords that are bringing traffic to your listings, then I'd strongly recommend you install Google Analytics and optionally connect your Google Analytics with eRank, and then you can access this sort of information in here. If any of you just have tried and just can't get it to work, what I will likely do is look at finding a way to create a Google Analytics property for you and giving that to you so you can add it to your Etsy store. That'll take a lot of pain out of the process there. So we're just trying to figure out a few things to make that happen. Once that happens, then we'll let people know if all else fails, you can use one of our property IDs. So more on that later on. I did want to say the last thing here is in the other tab, you can see different traffic sources. So in here, I've got Bing, I've got other parts of Etsy in here, Google, and eRank. So there you go. That was it.
Am I correct in saying that pop-ups built into eRank should not be affected by a pop-up blocker?
That is generally true, but I can't speak for all pop-up blockers.
Okay.
Yeah. Hazel says, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Starla.
I didn't say
anything. All right. Hazel says, I've it connected to my TeePublic store and it's complete gobbledygook. That is why we made traffic stats, because it's the same for all of us. It's so hard to use.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, I used to be certified, and now I'm certifiable because it just drives me crazy how difficult it is. It's great if you're a data analyst, don't get me wrong, but if you're a mere mortal like us, wow, it's supremely hard. I did want to share one more thing. And that's our...
Yeah, we've just got a question from Brian. And could we get similar stats about what's our highest converting keyword for us and what keywords aren't working?
Oh, Brian, that is the $1 million question. I would love to be able to do that for you guys. But unfortunately, what Etsy have done is they only put the Google Analytics tracking on your listing page. They don't put it in the shopping cart or in the thank you page. So we can't connect the dots. Try as much as we can. It's just not possible. I could probably give you a converting keyword maybe 1 in 100 times, but it would be very, very unique circumstances. It would be like you had one person search something on your shop, you had one view for the day, and you had one sale. It's like, that's how hard it is. It's like trying to find it in a sea of clicks. It's just,
Yeah, I spent many hours trying to figure out that funnel before I realized Etsy had it hidden for us. And it's the same, sadly, with this. Currently, Etsy doesn't give us any of the app data. Well, doesn't give Google any of the app data. So It's
So
definitely worth, if you want more data, ask Etsy to give.
put that to Etsy and say, please add Google Analytics to, or your Google Analytics tracking code to the Etsy app. I don't know how they would do it, but right now it's not there. So we can only give you the web browser version. It's still terrific directional data, but you can't get anywhere else. So I strongly recommend you connect it, install it, plug it in, and start collecting data. And if you haven't done that already, do it soon, because it can't collect data from the past. It's just, there's no mechanism there. So it's only from the day on that you install it on your Etsy shop.
You want it before the holidays, because that's the best time to get that good data that you can reflect back on.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to say, there is a little sync button in Google Analytics or traffic stats on eRank as well. So if you want real-time or near real-time keyword data, not stuff that's like 3 days old or more, you click that button and you can get an idea of what keywords were bringing traffic into your store that morning or that day.
Yeah. So. Oh, Debbie, I hear you. Where's Etsy's replacement for that keyword tool? I missed that tool on Etsy. Search Analytics Beta. Yes. Yeah. They took it away a year ago. I'm very sad.
Yeah, I think they'll bring it back. I'm optimistic. I think they'll bring something back that's even better than it used to be. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they took it away. I don't know whether people weren't using it enough, or maybe Etsy just weren't exposing the data in an obvious way. I think it'll be back.
Seems like such a waste. They have so much data. Like, do something with it.
You know, if I was a betting man, I'd say they'll probably add it to Etsy Plus at some point.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Anthony, did you see that you can now customize your shop colors with Etsy Plus?
I did not. I'm not an Etsy Plus user.
Oh, Pam, are you able to screen share and show off that brand new feature, since we have a second?
Yep. Give me 2 seconds and I'll find my shop.
It's the first major aesthetic change that Etsy has made to the shop interface since they introduced Etsy Plus. How many years has it been? 8-9 years?
A good while, yeah.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
They're also changing our shop, which when Pam pulls it up, you'll be able to see it. But what they display will be or has kind of changed as well for some browsers. Can you see it, Anthony?
Yeah, I can make it screaming pink.
Okay.
You can only pick colors from, what are they saying? Inspired by your banner and shop icon, basically. So you can, everybody's see something different.
What's the scroll button to the right, Pam? Are there more colors?
Ooh. Yeah, just one more.
That's a nice earring green there.
I was just thinking that. It's given me the only problem with doing the dark colors that Starla pointed this out last week.
No, do it with pink. Do it with pink instead.
Yeah, it's vile. It's fine on the little banner, but when you go all the way down to, sorry for anyone that makes them sick when they see a scroll, your about section, that's offensive.
And someone said might be available to everyone. I can see it, and I'm not Etsy Plus. You can see it, but you can't use it. You can see it and you can play with it, but you can't save it unless something has changed in like the last 2 days. I believe that they are just letting you play with it and see what your shop would look like if you paid for Etsy Plus.
And as Starla said, there's some other changes here. So this is me in editing, but when I go to my actual shop, what you're seeing, I bet you've changed it back now. Your shop title's now gone from up here, and they can't count past 14 for the number of years your shop's been open. But now your shop title is all the way down in your about section. So yeah, that's just, and they know the year that you opened, but they can't do maths. So there's some little changes.
Oh, Kat, thank you. Etsy's
Mhm.
Q2 results are scheduled for Wednesday the 30th. I'm going to put that
Yeah.
on my calendar.
Yes.
I'm surprised you're not subscribed to that email, Stella. It's,
I am. I don't even open them because I
Hmm.
get so many dang emails from them.
Yep. Yes, unfortunately, Brian's going to be away. So usually myself and Brian do a recap of this after the Thursday eRank Live, but Brian's going to be away. So.
Oh, and you know what, Pam? I won't be here on the 31st for that Thursday. So I'm going to be leaving you stranded with all this yummy, yummy.
Oh no, what am I going to do with that tasty data?
I know. You and Anthony are going to have to.
You and I, Pam. All right.
I'm sure we can cope.
I've got one more goodie to share.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Kat.
Am I presenting?
Oh, sorry, is that you? Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was my own screen. I was trying to figure out how I could get rid of my own screen.
It's still me. Oh, still you, not me.
I have to click. I have to do extra clicks nowadays.
There we are. Okay, so we're talking about the browser extension before, and if you're a little bit like me and you're paranoid about installing browser extensions, you can see I've got just one installed. That's our one. We also have a shortcut button, and this is different from a browser extension in that it's literally a shortcut that sits in your address bar up here. So if you were to go into the tools section and go to shortcut button, you'll get this page here. And I'm going to show you exactly what it does. So there's a little orange button over here. There's a message here saying drag me up to the bookmark bar. So I'm going to do exactly that. Hopefully can you see me dragging, Pam?
It's not showing you dragging, unfortunately.
Oh, that's just rude. Let me reshare my screen. I'll share my entire screen. That might help. Okay, try that, Pam, please.
Yay.
Yes?
Yes.
That works. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm just dragging it up to my very threadbare looking bookmark bar right here. So it just sits there like so. Now, the beauty of it is that I can be on an Etsy page and what am I going to do? I'm going to do a search for slime. And I can click on the shortcut button, and what it will do is it'll take me straight to the keyword tool on eRank, and I've immediately got the keyword stats for slime on Etsy. So that's part one. Next bit is I can say go into a particular listing and go, I want to know about this listing. I can click on the shortcut button again, and guess what? Straight through to the listing order page, and it will show the listing order for that specific listing I was looking at. But wait, there's more. If I was on a shop page, and apologies, Paperflower VT, if you're on the call and I'm singling you out here, but again, same thing. I can click on the shortcut button and it will take you over to eRank and it'll load up the shop info stats for that shop. And there's a little more. So if I go over to Amazon, because I'm selling lovely stuff on Amazon as well, maybe a PlayStation 5, and I click on the shortcut button, voila, we have keyword stats coming up for PS5 on Amazon. So you can see that there. Lastly, if I go over to eBay, maybe I'll search for the best TV show ever made, Doctor Who, and I then go and click the shortcut button. Can you guess what's going to happen? You got it. So we'll now show keyword stats for that term on eBay, just like so. So that's the shortcut button. It's there. It's a non-invasive type thing, and it's literally just a JavaScript function that will take you deep into eRank so you can see stats about those various screens that you're seeing there. I wanted to share that because, of the privacy protections that come with a shortcut button, but also it's one of those tools that we've had for many years, and not many people know about it. We don't really advertise it very much. We rarely talk about it, but it's super convenient. And the folks that have got it installed use that way more than the browser extension, and actually they use it way more than most of the other tools in general. So yeah, feel free to drag that into your bookmark bar and use it if you want a nice little easy way to access those different tools on eRank.
Does it work on Teachers Pay Teachers?
Ooh.
Or just Amazon and Etsy?
I don't know. Let's find out. I don't think so.
You'll find out live.
We do have data for Teachers Pay Teachers, which, Debbie, I assume if you're asking, you already know that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have enabled it, but we'll find out in real time together.
Do you want to share your screen again?
Oh, nothing to share, Pam. It says unsupported marketplace. So,
oh.
But I'll tell you what, if it's supported in the keyword tool, then we can absolutely enable it. And I think I'll go and have a chat to our product team after this call and let them know, enable it for all these marketplaces, please. It's not a biggie to do. So great question. We'll get that added.
Brian pointed out the advantage is that this works on every browser instead of just Chrome,
yep.
Whereas our extension, unfortunately, only works on Chrome. So if you're not a Chrome user and you're disappointed that you can't use the browser extension, use the super awesome shortcut button.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't talk about it more, because every time we do, people absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's just so handy. Yeah.
Well, guys, it's 4:02. I think that this went very, very well. No one rioted about the bad news at the end. If you missed it, you're just going to have to watch the replay and help us get our watch time up on this video so that the algorithm will be happy. But is this available now? This has been available
many years.
Yeah, it's been available for a long time. And one last question, Brian. It said, not sure if asked, but will eRank work with our own website?
Not yet, but it's a great question. So
you can do Google keyword searches if you're just doing SEO on your. I've been using it for Google queries.
Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. And I probably answered that slightly incorrectly. We do offer some basic sort of support. So you could go into the sites tool, and if you've got a reasonably popular site, we might be able to show you some statistics there, but frankly, you can get better statistics from your Google Analytics. We can give you Google keyword data, Google shopping keyword data. So that can be quite handy for your shop or your site as well. I do want to expand our traffic stats to support your website as well. So if you have Google Analytics on there and you're like me and you're like, I can't figure this thing out, we want to do that as well. So Pam, Brian, and I are brainstorming that as well. So thanks for the leading question there, Brian. That was the other Brian.
We have two Brians.
It's been confusing me pulling up the questions. Going, that's a great question. Oh, that's a different Brian. Yeah,
we've got a handful of Brians on the call. Sorry, Brian M. The other Brian and Pam and I have been figuring out ways to add support to our traffic stats tool so that you can start to see a more simplistic view of how your website's performing. So if you've got Google Analytics on your website, soon you'll be able to connect it to eRank and get some useful insights like where they're coming from. You know, Pinterest, Facebook, ChatGPT, some keyword data from Google. Although Google hide that now, they encrypt it all, so it's I don't know. Well, they're just being nasty. But there's still some very, very good information in there. So we'll continue pushing that.
That's what we're about to meet on, like literally when we get off here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. Make sure that you give the video a little love. And will I be here next week? I will. I'll be here next week.
Next week, Michelle will be joining us to talk about Pinterest. It's our summer of social media, so don't forget to join us for that.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks. Bye.
See you next time, guys.
It wasn't easy, no, but with eRank, We're trending now. I dreamed of topping all the charts. I wanted sales to blow up. Remember long nights crafting, no one clicking on my stuff. But I signed up for eRank.